This is really, I got to say this. This is like, I'm used to sitting out here asking questions, so so be nice. It's awesome. Great to be here. How are we doing?
JP, could you just talk a little bit about the process and, what your thought process was when you applied and just kind of your emotions when you went through the whole thing?
Well, it was a little later in the off season. I mean, it's summertime. Everybody's off. You guys are off. Everybody's kind of doing vacation type things. And I saw that Dave Pasch's was moving on full time to ESPN. It's like, well, you reach out and see what happens. And lo and behold, the process moved along, and we got to a conclusion here fairly recently. So it's been quite a whirlwind just to get over here. I got in town yesterday. Here today, going with the team tomorrow, calling the game Thursday. So wrapping up life in Jacksonville and then learning the Cardinals all at the same time. It's kind of a crash course. So that's a little synopsis of how it's been really since July.
What got you into play-by-play?
Well, I mean, I grew up in Alabama, right? So just outside of Birmingham, and I was always a huge sports fan. I was a kid. I wasn't playing a lot of sports, but always wanted to be around it, and didn't really realize that you could, do it until you got to college. I went to Alabama, and they have a great student radio program there, or did 25 years ago, a long time ago. So I was fortunate to be on the air for almost every sport except football at Alabama, softball, volleyball, I just got experience doing games. And then I graduated, and I got a job in minor league baseball. So I worked for a bunch of different minor league baseball teams for about 9 years, 5 of those in AA in Jacksonville, another in AAA in Oklahoma City. So I was on, I thought, the path to try to be, the Arizona Diamondbacks announcer, but not the Arizona Cardinals. So that's how it started, and then it kind of morphed back into, with the Jaguars, they had an opening and to do pregame and postgame and other content, digital content, that every team in the league does now. But we were kind of on the front end of that, and we helped build that department. There were a bunch of great people over the years, from 3 people when I started to like 40 people running it now. So I've covered a team every single day in the building for 14 years in the Jaguars, but then started doing play-by-play on the side with Touchdown Radio Networks and with some college football games where it worked with the Jag schedule, similar to Dave. And then that turned into some Westwood One opportunities on college at first, and then some NFL games because the Jaguars are in London every year. So I would do those games since I'm twiddling my thumbs during the game. Might as well call one, right? So that's kind of the path in general, but very fortunate to be here today, for sure.
JP, Bo Brock, PHNX Sports.
Hey, man.
Welcome. Who are some of your influences that you kind of follow? You want to emulate?
Well, I mean, there's so many. I grew up in Alabama, so it's like Eli Gold, Alabama radio forever, from like 88 until not that long ago. So that's the one that was every day. Keith Jackson was a television guy, right? If he wasn't on TV, we would turn down the sound and turn on Eli, right, to listen to Alabama games. But then, when I got into school, you're studying, like, how do you want this to be? What are your core principles? Like, what should it sound like and feel like? And I go way back to, like, Mel Allen, original voice of the Yankees, Mutual Broadcasting, all these things. This Week in Baseball at the end, passed in '96, but he's an Alabama guy. He's from Birmingham, went to Alabama. And then Red Barber was another one, too. He wrote this great book called The Broadcasters. And half of it's kind of his life story. The other half is, how do you do this business? Like, preparation and everything that went into his work. So I study those two guys. But then when I was in college, I started working on the side with CBS Sports on the SEC games as a production assistant, a runner, and then graduated and stayed on with them. And for 5 years, I was in the booth as Vern Lundquist's spotter every Saturday on the SEC on CBS. And I got to watch him. I got to stand right beside him every Saturday. This is Tebow era. LSU's good. Alabama's resurgent. Saban's coming back from Miami. I mean, there are some banger games every week. I mean, this is big time. I mean, especially from where I'm from. So I got to stand by him every Saturday and watch how he prepared for games, built his chart, interacted with people in and out of the booth, coaches, ADs, the truck, and just how this business should be approached, and whether, he does it or not, knows it or not. That was a huge influence and I'm still trying to prepare like Vern. I mean, I can't quite get there because he was so meticulous on everything.
How do you go into Thursday's game kind of blind, right? And calling this and learning their names, learning everything. Like, how do you go about that?
I am going to bug the heck out of AQ Shipley for the next 2 days. And I am going to just be in his hip pocket. You know, he's been here. He's played the game at a high level. Everybody on our PR staff is awesome, too, in the building. Jim Omahundro is like, he's back there doing the audio right now. But he's was so helpful in the transition so far. So honestly, for me, I'll learn as much as I can the next 2 days. I've been working already on it, but let's roll the ball out and play. It's a football game, right? And there's going to be 90 guys out there, starters. You just heard the coach. They're playing. That's exciting. Okay, for a little bit. And then we're just calling ball at that point. We'll get deeper into the storylines and things probably in the second half. That's usually how that goes. And I'll have more familiarity as the weeks go here. I'm not concerned about there'll be some growing pains, and that's fine. It's not going to be perfect. And show me a perfect broadcast, I'll show you one that's not, you know? And that's kind of how this is going to have to go, at least early. And but I'm excited because it's when the ball's on the tee and they're keeping score, that's always fun.
Is it true your first visit here actually wasn't yesterday, but years ago calling a minor league game in Tucson?
Yeah, so I was in Oklahoma City, which was an Astros affiliate at the time. And the Tucson, I think, had the Padres at the time. I think they were called the Padres. It's a long time. That's 2011. Flew through Phoenix, flew to Tucson, stayed there for a series. And then yesterday was the first time I'd ever stepped foot out of the Phoenix airport, ever. Like, right. So, you know, the last day is just like, this place is amazing. I mean, trying to find all these roads and, neighborhoods and things that I've only seen on a map. But that'll come. And I'm excited to be here. So that's, and I'm hoping to be here for a long time. I'm not planning on going anywhere else. I'm doing a full life reboot to be here in Phoenix.
Have you and your family found a home yet?
Well, that's part of the next couple of weeks as well, you know.
Where are you going to be staying while you're...
I got some temporary housing close to the facility for right now because I'm going to be there all the time, right? And then I'll figure out that a little bit later. I'm not too concerned about that, honestly. I'm concerned about football. And then, like, the rest of it's going to work out. Like, there's movers and there's people, and they're going to do their jobs. I got to do mine. So, and this is the job at hand here. So
being from SEC country and covering the Jags and minor league baseball and all that, what's your knowledge of the Arizona Cardinals? What do you remember kind of this journey?
It was a hell of a game last year against the Jaguars. I know that. I mean, that was crazy. Back and forth, comeback, and all these things. It's the longest running franchise in the NFL. There's a lot of history with this organization. Back to the Morgan Athletic Club and the ownership group and a family-run team. Those are becoming fewer and fewer in the NFL these days. So there's quite a lot of history here. We saw a lot of it this weekend with Fitz. Fitz, I haven't met him. Larry Fitzgerald. Sorry, Fitz. My bad. Maybe one of these days I'll meet you and we'll get to really do that. But they've had some success here, and we're hoping for a whole lot more in the future because I think it's you can only look ahead, you know. Can't worry about what's happened in the past.
How much have you gotten to know AQ since?
A little bit. We talked a good bit. We're a lot of you should see our text chains. Like we're going back and forth in some of that. Yeah, a lot of texters. We've talked a couple times, of course, and it's fun because it'll be interesting to work with somebody new again. But I feel like I've done that a lot with Westwood One and Touchdown Radio. Almost every week, if I'm doing a game, it's a different analyst with us. So I have some experience in quick turnarounds and a new voice and timing, and you just got to go interact with the person. And I think, I'm going to be doing more of the learning than he will because he's going to carry the show, and he's the one that's going to be giving you the reason why everything's happening and has that great personality to go with it.
With this being like, you're, I guess, first of all, what are your other roles right now? Are you just going to be doing Cardinals, or are you still going to be doing Westwood One stuff? How is that going?
It's all Cardinals. I mean, later down the line, we might think about if the schedule works, but that's not a priority right now. It's really not. So it's all Cardinals right now. The focus early is just in the games, and I think I'll find some spots in coverage for the website, radio network, TV, where it makes sense. There's a lot of talented people here already, too. I mean, I'm the new guy, right? I've had some experience in the league, but I'm a rookie here. So I'm going to, do what I can to make everybody else's job easier and fit in where I can.
A follow-up to that, again, then what are the benefits of being able to be fully focused on the Cardinals, as your full-time job rather than doing a million different tasks where you can be around this team, as you said, you're gonna be at the facility all the time. What are the
Yeah.
benefits of that?
I mean, everybody in that building has a story, and a lot of them should be told. I mean, there's a lot of good storylines on this team, on the coaching staff and the players, front office folks too. And to build that, this is what we did in Jacksonville. Was 14 years there. You get to know everybody in the place and what makes them tick, and what makes them win, and what sometimes doesn't let them win. There's a lot of that too. So, and the approach around that, I think, is what I learned the most every day in the building, because we went through a lot. There's a roller coaster being built over here. We drove past it today, right? All these loops and things. That's kind of what it felt like in Jacksonville sometimes, like the last 14 years. A lot of ups, a lot of downs, a lot of changes. How do you approach it internally? And I think that's what I'll bring, at least that experience here, and be able to tell the story of the Cardinals moving ahead. But I was doing everything except the games, right? So now the payoff is the 3 hours on Sunday and getting to call the games. So, anything else? All right, guys, thanks so much.